Hey everyone, I'm Drew.
And I'm Delco.
And I'm Jeff.
Welcome to the D&D show. Well, as we promised, we have a guest with us this time. This is Jeff Urban. I haven't known Jeff too awful long. Been getting to know him a little bit over the course of the last year, and just a cool guy. And Delco's known him a little longer than I have, but we just wanted to get him involved. He kind of saw what we were doing, and he had some things he wanted to talk about, some things that were on his heart. So welcome, Jeff. And,
Thank you.
Like we said, one of the things we were going to talk about that he wanted to touch on was depression and anxiety. So
Absolutely.
I think that's a pretty big issue in the lives of many people today, more than we realize, I think. So glad you could be watching and glad you could make it on the show. So Delco's got the short seat this time, short a stool here, but we'll have to fix that for the next one. So anyway,
Go for it, Jeff.
I'm on it. Well, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Anxiety, depression really kicks in for everybody, and that's from young to old. There's, everybody gets sad. Everybody has something they're dealing with that, it can either bring them down or, there's just different levels. What I'd like to talk about a little bit more is that it's, in men especially, pride takes over. And when pride takes over, it's more of the, if you call it a whim or whatever, but you're down, you're sad, you don't want to talk about it to anybody, and that's the worst thing ever. You need to have somebody there to speak with. But I guess I'm getting off topic here. But when you do get depressed and down and sad and things, it's human nature. It's everybody deals with that. Everybody deals with sadness. You're not alone out there with this feeling. Like I said, there's different levels. There's kind of sad sometimes, and then there's extremes. Where people take their own lives and stuff. Which brings me to some of the scripture that I wanted to talk about tonight. That it's not biblical to be depressed and to be anxious all the time, or even for a few moments. Actually, you're supposed to rely on Christ and give it to Him, and He'll take care of it for you. And as men, we forget that. We don't like to talk about our feelings. Makes us feel like we're sissies, or it's something out there that's that's bad, I guess, to use just a simple term. But Isaiah 42:10, sing unto Jehovah a new song, and His praise from the end of the earth, ye that go down to sea, and all that is therein, the isles and the inhibitions thereof. Excuse me. There's so many different verses in the Bible that talk about anxiety, depression, but it doesn't talk about how to deal with it, because it's teaching you not to deal with it. Philippians 4:6-7, it says, in nothing be anxious, but in everything be everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your request be made known unto God, and the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall guard your hearts and your thoughts in Jesus Christ. Psalms 56:3, when I am afraid, I put my trust in you. Psalms 34:4, I sought the Lord, and He answered me and delivered me from all my fears. That one right there hits home for me, for anxiety, depression, those types of things. It's a fear. You're afraid of something. You're afraid that you're not going to be able to pay a bill, or you're afraid that you don't know where your next meal is going to come from. You're afraid that you're going to lose friends or family. It's just a brutal feeling to have. But I believe that if you truly give it to Christ and hand it over to Him, and not be so proud, and talk to somebody that you trust, I think you can get through it quicker than you'd think if you really gave it to the Lord. Because the Bible does teach us not to be anxious and not to be depressed. It's straight from Satan, and it's just that simple. A verse to read on. It's a pretty long verse. Matthew 6:25-34. I won't read the whole thing, but I think if you go and search it, I think this would be a good one to read yourself and ponder on and look into the anxious aspect of what the Bible teaches us. 1 Peter 5:7. This is a really good one. Casting all your anxieties on Him because He cares for you. The reason that's so important is that Christ does care for you. He loves you. He's here for you. And all of His words, like Proverbs 12:25, anxiety in a man's heart weighs him down, but a good word makes him glad. Anxiety is just a term, and it's something that God does not want for us at all. The Bible is our life handbook. It teaches us how to live our life. It's just that simple and how to be. So, in closing, I guess with the anxiety and depression topic, just remember that you're not alone, that you can reach out to anybody. There's hotlines out there for suicide hotlines out there for depression, anxiety, all of that. But first and foremost, get on your knees and pray about that. See if the Lord will take it away for you without having to do all those things. But don't forget to reach out to somebody either. There's so many people, celebrities, regular people that we've lost in this world. And Robin Williams was one of my all-time favorites. And when he died in 2014, it was pretty sad. But one of his quotes that I've always lived by was, everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Always be kind. And I truly believe that's what the Bible teaches us as well. So, guys, I thank you for having me on. I really do.
Yeah, and I'll say with that, we thank you for being here, and I really appreciate him bringing the scripture into it and just being real about it, because sometimes, like he was saying with the pride aspect, it is hard for men to own up and say that, look, I have a problem, or I'm stressing out, or I'm depressed about this. It's hard for us to talk about, and I really appreciate you coming on and really hitting that on the head to say that it is okay to seek help. It is okay to talk to someone, but most importantly, it is okay to talk to God and take it to Him and say, Lord, this is too much for me. Like, I need your help, and He wants us to do that. And He wants us to have that relationship with Him, that we may be able to bring it to Him and say, this is too much for me. I can't handle it on my own. He said that He would never give us anything that we couldn't bear. So, yeah, I really appreciate that. So that's what we've been talking about, pride. I mean, let's not allow our pride to be so bad that we can't talk about these things, because just like he said, everyone that just like Robin Williams said, that everyone you meet is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. So always be kind. We don't know like what's going on in people's mind, because we so often say, well, how could he do something like that? But you don't know what's going on in his mind, or his or her mind, as far as in, people. So, I think that, the main thing is to always be kind to people, no matter what. And is it hard? Yes, it is. It's hard to be kind to people, especially when people are, doing stuff against you that is not probably what you deem would be okay, but I think it is okay still to be kind. You don't have to react in the ways that they want you to. And yes, like I said, it is easier said than done to do it.
Absolutely it is. And I don't think I mentioned this when I was talking, but I deal with depression and anxiety every day, all day. I've been to so many counseling sessions, I could be a counselor easily. But just remember, you're not alone out there. That's the main thing, that it's not okay, to just go off and take your life. It's okay to talk to somebody about it. It really is. It's harder. It's easier if you do talk about it and make it known, because it's harder when you hold it in. So just remember that, and remember Christ is there for you, and that's the bottom line. Give it all to Christ.
Good stuff. I appreciate you coming on too.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed getting to know you, seeing you there at the shop, and I think this is just the beginning of more of this and hanging out. And
I agree.
I definitely think it makes a huge difference just having somebody that you can turn to and trust with some of those deep, dark secrets or just things that are going on in our lives.
Yeah.
I know just the short time I've known Delco too. I mean, we share things, and it's like a burden that's kind of lifted off you. Just being able to, it's like almost once you say it and get it off your chest, it's like.
Well, yeah, it's easier.
Yeah.
It's easier if you talk about it. If you hold it in, it's worse because it's just you. It's just you dealing with it, and you can only deal with so much. You know, God's going to give you just so much to deal with, but the Bible teaches you to reach out and talk to people and be kind to people, and cast your burdens on to other people as well to talk about it, to come up with solutions, to come up with different things in this world, because what I'm dealing with, Drew might not be dealing with, but Delco could be dealing with it a little bit less than me, but Drew might have a different problem that I'm not dealing with, but Delco might have the same problem, which is even worse. So you don't know, and if you don't talk about it again, you just, it stays inside, eats you up, and you know, if you don't give it to somebody, if you don't give it to Christ, give it to one of your best friends, give it to your wife, give it to your brother, whoever, but do not let it sit and stew, because it'll eat you up.
It's almost like a ticking time bomb, you know.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, anybody else got anything else they want to say?
No, I appreciate you guys having me on again, and guys, remember, just keep it real.
We plan on it.
All right. Sounds
right.
good.
With that, I guess we'll call it a wrap, and we'll see you in the next video.
All right. See ya.
Have a good one.
Thanks.